Hello, my friends, and welcome again, or for the first time, or whatever it is that you're doing, to You've Got a Thing, an interview thing about Milwaukee theater things, very specific. My name is Jaimelyn Gray. I am the host of this program, and today we have a great interview with somebody new to the program. I don't think Randall's ever been on this program before. So Randall Dodge is the artistic director of Forte Theater Company, which is a company out in if you would like to call it, suburbs of greater Milwaukee. And that's who we have today. So we'll get to that interview in a little bit. But today, we're going to go over the events for the week that we have. We've got three, count them, three shows closing this weekend. So you may have a full calendar this weekend of things that you need to go and see and get out there. If you have not catched, ooh, that just made me shiver. Caught these shows yet. So let's get to that right away. First of all, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about some improv here. We've got, I think this is a Schmitz and Giggles adjacent program we've got coming up here. This is Friday, so tomorrow, if you're watching this on Thursday. If you're watching this on Sunday, well, you're too late. But if you're watching this on Thursday, we do have a 1-star review, which is improv comedy based on bad online reviews. I have not yet been able to catch this program because they do have this occasionally, but I hope to someday get to, because this just sounds hilarious, and a bunch of hilarious people are in there, including Mr. Patrick Schmitz himself. If you don't know about Schmitz and Giggles, you can go back a few episodes ago and listen to their now finished and completed episode of The Hitman, but he gives a little bit of history of Schmitz and Giggles in there too. And so that'd be a good thing to go and check out because the man is a very funny man and a very funny company name. And I do love saying Schmitz and Giggles, Schmitz and Giggles, Schmitz and Giggles, because it makes me a little bit of Schmitz and a little bit of giggle. I don't know if that makes sense, but I really don't care. So that's what we have for that there. You can go to, if you have the opportunity, where are you? schmitzandgiggles.org is the website for that, to find out what's happening with them. There's some posts on Facebook and things too, as far as that's concerned. So you can go and check that out. But schmitzandgiggles.org is the main landing place for Schmitz and Giggles. So you can check that out for sure. Then next we have, a little thing that is closing this weekend. And this, we do not have Sunday matinees. Our Sunday matinees are done. So if you want to come and see the Beauty Queen of Lebanon, you have to come tonight, tomorrow, or Saturday, and then we're done. We've got 3 shows and then we're done. And last I checked, we were about half full for all of the shows. So I would be very concerned about particularly the Friday and Saturday shows selling out, because people have had the tendency to wait until the last minute, really since the pandemic. That we've noticed a trend in people waiting until the last minute to get their tickets on things. And so I highly encourage you to go ahead of time. If you have not seen the Beauty Queen of Lebanon and you are hoping to go and see it, to get your tickets now. That's just the way things are sometimes. And so you can go to theconstructivists.org for that. If you don't know about this show, it centers a mother and daughter in a real fighting Irish kind of relationship, and a gentleman comes into the picture and messes things up, and chaos ensues, and it's dark, but it's so hilarious. It is the quintessential constructivist piece. And so if you want to come and see us, go to theconstructivist.org and get your tickets for that, because that, again, that's ending the 12th. See there on the thing, or if you're listening to this program, what I'm showing is a graphic of the Beauty Queen of Lebanon, and shows that it ends on April 12th. So there you go for that little doodad we have there. Then next we have another closing production. This is going to close on Sunday. So again, get your butts in there. You can make this happen. If you're going today, you can make this happen. You can go see a show today. You can go see a show tomorrow. You can go see a show on Sunday, and you can cover all your bases of the comedy, the darkness, all the things. This here we have from Renaissance Theater Works is a straight comedy, just a flat out funny show that they have over there. It is about Alex. It's called Byron Cellar, and Cellar is Cellar, because Alex is an out of work actor and lands a bizarre gig working in the make-believe shopping arcade located in the cellar of Barbra Streisand's Malibu estate. Hilarious. He spends his days alone dusting the inventory until the lady herself comes downstairs, and Doug Clemens, this is a one-man show, and he plays 11 or so characters or something like that, and does it exceedingly well. I have heard testament of such, and that he is a truly gifted artist, and you need to go and see this over at Renaissance Theater Works. No, it's theater. It's theater. So you can go to rtwmke.org to go and check out Byron Cellar featuring Doug Clemens, and check out that comedy that they have over there. Then next we have a sister act based on the movie, it's a musical based on the movie, and this opened last week and is now in its run. And so I'm hoping to get somebody to come in and talk. I would love to get Molly Rohde in here to talk about Sister Act and directing Sister Act. And if you don't know Sister Act, it's a very, very funny story of what is it? A gangster's wife, gangster's girlfriend. I'm trying to get, because I forgot to put it down the information, because I sometimes do that. I got distracted by my printer. My printer went kerblooey because we updated our internet, and you know how when you update your internet, then all of a sudden everything just goes wrong. Well, that's what happened to me, and so I'm trying to manage all of that right now. But so the story goes that it's about a nightclub singer turned nun, Dolores Van Cartier, and it's about her transformative process of moving from herself to selfless as she becomes an inspiration for her community, and teaching kids how to sing a choir at a Catholic school, how to sing and perform. And so if you remember the movie, it's the musical based on the movie, and it should be a really great time for you all. So you can go to smtmke.org for more information about that over at Skylight Music Theatre, the sister act, and that closes at the end of the month. So you've got some time on that. So I would say focus on the ones that are closing this weekend, and then go on with your theatrical journey there. And next we have Interchange Theater Co-op. I'm just putting the schedule up here because they have tons of shows for you to go and see every week, every week, every weekend. You can go and see great improv work over at Interchange Theater Co-op. This week we've got Skaboody with the Interchange Players and Ex Machina with Skaboody. So Skaboody, we could say that 5 times fast: Skaboody, 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 and go and see some improv. If you want to go and check them out, you're going to want to go to Interchange Theater, that's a TER.com, to check out more improv from the Interchange guys. Real great group of guys over there, and they're, as far as I understand it, they're, because of the busy schedule they have this week, there is no open mic this week. That is your warning on that. If you were looking forward to an open mic comedy this week, they're skipping it this week because of that Skaboody with Interchange Players setup they have going on this week. So go and check that out. If you have time and space in your life to go and see some improv, go and do that. So you might want to go and see improv tonight, see The Constructivists tomorrow, then see, then you'd have to see Interchange tonight, Schmitz and Giggles tomorrow, The Constructivists, and then you're going to have to work out buyer and seller, or our interview coming up, Forte Theater Company. If you waited to the last minute to see all of this stuff, you are in for a wild ride this weekend. So I hope you have seen some of these and you didn't wait till the last minute to see all of these, because you've got a wild journey coming up if you have. So then, just a couple of other monthly events that I'd like to mention. It is Autism Awareness Month. I did forget this last week. Just a way to focus on the talents and contributions and diversity within the autism community. Autism is a great big old spectrum of people, and I know some wonderful people with autism who are wonderful, talented artists, and each person has their own set of skills and challenges, and so it really is a wide spectrum. But they're saying that autism spectrum disorder is around 1 in 100 children now, so around 75 million people are on the autism spectrum. I would highly encourage you to go to autisticadvocacy.org. It seems to be the best website that I found that focuses on self-determination and self-sufficiency. As I've said, as the mother of a disabled person myself, one of the movements that has really popped up in the past 10 years or so is a real prevalence of helping persons with disabilities to get to the most independent and self-sufficient path in their life. And I'm really glad that things have moved to that, so that we're focusing less on helplessness and more on people being able to be independent and have their own journey. And so, again, you can go to autisticadvocacy.org for more information about that. And last but certainly not least, as a sober person in a state that does like its alcohol, it is Alcohol Awareness Month, and it's just an opportunity to update your knowledge about alcohol use disorder. And speaking of spectrums, there's a wide spectrum of of alcohol misuse and its effects on our health and society. So if you want to check out a good website for that is the NIAA.nih.gov site for that, and you can check out resources, and it covers a lot of topics and is available in multiple languages and things. So go and check out that. Alcohol Awareness Month, April, that's where we're at. But that's what we have this week for our weekly events. And so now let's get to that interview with Randall Dodge, the artistic director of Forte Theatre Company. That's a TRE. It's a theatre company. And so here is that interview with Mr. Randall Dodge. And with me today, I have the not only the artistic director, but actor, director, producer. Got any other tools in your toolbox there? Like you are the trifecta. You are the thing, Mr. Randall Dodge. You're with me today, yes.
Well, I paint, I build the sets too. But
okay, but I think that just comes with being the producer. Yeah. That's the end of the when you have a small company,
right.
If you have not painted a set of yours, you are not really living.
You're not, and you're no longer qualified as a small company.
And you're no longer qualified as a small company. Right. I too did some painting on the Beauty Queen set, so I am quite familiar with the logistics of making the small company work. So, but thank you so much for being with me here today, good sir. Can you just for people who are not aware of yourself and Forte Theatre Company, can you just give us a little bit of background of the artistic journey of not only yourself but the company itself?
Sure. Well, number one, thank you so much for letting me come on, and thank you for doing this show. I think it is so necessary. It's so great.
Yeah.
This community in Milwaukee is amazing. It's wonderful, and how they've embraced us as a new company here is phenomenal. But my wife and I started this thing in 2018, right before COVID. And
great timing. I did the same thing. So yes.
Yep. And we decided to try and produce small, intimate musical theater. And because that's what I love doing, and that's where we met. I met my wife doing The Pirates Penzance, which was a big, epic, sweeping musical, but we love musical theater. So that's why we wanted to do that. And we started out in a very small space and had a marvelous time. I met a lot of incredible people. I didn't know any actors in town at the time. I directed a madrigal dinner, if you can imagine, for the symphony.
Wow.
And so I met Joel Kopishki at that. At that
wonderful, talented artist he is.
Amazing. And I also met Abby James, or Abby Wass, who has been my my stage manager and lighting designer for the last 5 seasons.
Wow.
So I met these two people at this madrigal dinner, and then I was like, well, we're gonna do this company thing, and do you guys want to do stuff with us? And so Joel kind of told me who was who. He'd been here forever, so he was kind of like, well, this is what you got to do. So we started doing the auditing the generals and started to get to know everybody, and the rest is history. We're closing in on the end of season 5, and we just announced season 6. And it's been amazing. I have no regrets, even though we had to suffer through the whole COVID thing. But
Yeah. Yeah.
luckily, we weren't a brick and mortar company at that time, and so we
Yeah.
were. I still work out of my basement, as you can see. So it's it is what it is. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now, and we every show we do, I learn so much as an actor, but also as a human being, and empathy and all those things. But and producing right now is so necessary. So anyway, that's our story.
Yeah. Well, for people who don't know, you are located. You're out in Franklin.
That's right.
You are the professional musical theater company out in a little bit out on the fringes there in the suburby area of Greater Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the venue that you work out of? A little
Sure.
bit.
Yeah. So we were on the West Coast, and my wife and I we have two children, and at the time it was 10 years ago, and we were on the West Coast, and I had booked a tour of Les Mis up to Alaska, and
Wow.
so I had to go to Alaska for 2 months, and I realized that I was leaving behind my wife and two small children, and I would be, very far away, and that really kind of freaked us out that we didn't have a support system in place,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
with two toddlers. So we
Yeah.
decided to move and be by my wife's mom and dad, and they just happened to live in Franklin, Wisconsin. And we had visited a couple of times, and we thought, oh, that could be great, And so we got out here, and we realized that there wasn't a lot of professional theater in the suburbs, if any. And in Southern California, the professional theater are all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I love working downtown. I love downtowns, but I thought, as a family guy now, and for producing other family friendly type shows, let's do something in the suburbs. So the Sabre Center was an opportunity for us, and so now we produce at Franklin High School. We are not affiliated with the high school. We're not a school program, um, but
You're just a renter.
right. We just rent the space. Yeah, right. Um, and so we've kind of found a little niche in their schedule, and we've been working there since. And it's a beautiful space, but it's just a lot. It's a lot. It's a
It's
big house.
it is a beautiful, beautiful space, but it is a big
Mhm.
guy. It's a big
Yeah,
space. Yeah.
it's one of the biggest
Uh,
ones in Milwaukee. Yeah, I mean it's
yeah.
900 seats, and they built it to house huge events there, and so we're very humbled by being able to do anything in there. So
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and so you have two show main stage season, and The Secret Garden
mhm,
is the final production of your two show main stage season. And so
that's
and
right.
you are in it right now. You guys opened last weekend and you close this weekend.
Yeah.
You do a 2 weekend uh uh production.
Mhm.
And so can you tell us a little bit about The Secret Garden? For
I
a
would
lot of a
love
lot of
to.
musical theater people know Secret Garden. It's one
Hmm.
that's quite familiar to people who are musical theater aficionados.
Hmm.
But for us lay people, us straight, just straight play nerds, can you fill us in on the story of The Secret Garden?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So we structure the show two performances the first weekend, and then we do four the second weekend to hopefully get some word of mouth. And a show
Yeah,
like The
yeah.
Secret Garden, it checks so many boxes for us because we love working with kids. I love mentoring the kids into the professional world, and so. This show, obviously, we get to feature two youth actors. The young lady playing our lead, Mary Lennox, is Allison Lindbergh, and she's just one of those kids. She's gonna be a huge star.
Yeah.
She's just so loose and ready and professional. And then our other young actor, Sylvia, is phenomenal. We actually had 4 kids that we called back for the 2 roles, Colin and Mary, from the
Sure.
novel, and we couldn't decide, so we ended up casting all 4 of them with using
Wow.
2 of them as covers. And but we're so blessed to have kind of a farm system, if you will, to find young performers. Um, but The Secret Garden is a very touching show. It has to do with loss, but acceptance and renewal. And there's a lot of magic in this show, not ta-da kind of
Not
magic, but
actual.
just more, yeah, just
The
more the idea
kind
of
of magic.
healing. And yeah, because it deals with loss. Our main character, Mary Lennox, she's living in colonial India around 1905, and her family all die from cholera, and
Mm.
somehow she survives that, and she gets swept off and taken back to England and lives in Yorkshire, England, with her uncle Archibald and his brother Neville. And the story kind of unfolds from there. But everybody's kind of dealing with loss,
Mm.
and but then they're finding a way to get through that. And I I've said it a couple of times, but it is so true that it's an embarrassment of riches, this show, because we have probably assembled the best voices in the
Mm.
Milwaukee area. Part of our deal as Forte, we want to only hire local professionals here in Milwaukee.
That's so awesome.
I'm not bringing people in from New York or Chicago or anything. If you're local and you want to do um, high end work, then please come and audition for us.
Awesome.
We're not prepared to pay for equity yet, but our main goal is to definitely be to become a small professional theater contract, hopefully in the next couple of seasons. But we do pay. Everybody that's in the shows are paid, including our designers, and again, all local designers. I like to give.
Keep the money
Um,
here. Keep the
I
money
know,
here.
right?
Yeah.
Well, and I like to give people their first chance. Kylie Hennis, who is an amazingly talented young actress. She and I did Peter Pan together 10 years ago at the Fireside
Oh, right
Dinner
on.
Theater. And now she's graduated from college. She's still performing, but she also has become quite a set designer. And so this was an opportunity for her to come in and work hand in hand with our director, our visionary director, Ryan Kappelman, who is, you talk about a triple threat. He's a
Yeah, great artist he is.
quintuple threat.
Yes.
Um, so he has assembled and cobbled this show together in such a marvelous way, and he knows how to work with the kids. He knows how to work with the pros. I mean, I've got Lydia Ike, I've got Stephen Pfisterer, I've got Jared Hoover, who I just did Oliver with at
Yes.
Skylight, and Kathy Pyatt. My God, that woman can sing. But I did, and it just keeps going from there. So we've got a cast of about 23 on stage, and it's beautiful. It sounds amazing. My sound designer, nobody else in town can get their hooks in him. Please, I know that you all need one, but you can't have him. Liam Ledford, he's amazing. and, but we're having a marvelous time. And the first two shows on opening night, and then our first matinee. We try to sell at least 200 tickets per show. If we hit
Yeah.
250, we feel like we're doing really well.
Yeah.
Even in a 900 seat theater, it feels empty. But for the rights that we pay for, if we can get up to 250 people, we're at least sort of breaking even.
Yeah.
And we did that both nights for the
So
first
cool.
weekend, and hopefully these matinees will sell this next weekend, and we can have a great house and give those actors some wonderful attention, because that's why
Yeah.
we did this. That's why we started this, was to put people to work, to put people into work. And my dream has always been to live and work in the same town.
That's awesome.
And I've lived in a I've been equity for over 25 years, and so many times I would come into a production, and the producers would refer to locals as local jobbers, and all these sort of derogatory
Yeah.
ways of referencing people because they didn't come from a hub. And it's like, yeah, okay, great, the hubs have great talent, but there's great talent that lives right here,
Yep.
and they're amazing.
Yep.
Sarah Zapian is a
Mhm.
star. The two young ladies that I worked with at Samantha Sostridge is a
Uh-huh.
Broadway star. That
Mhm, mhm,
lady is amazing. She's not in Secret Garden, but she was in Oliver with me at Skylight.
mhm, mhm.
And the list goes on and on. I mean, Hope Reister, all these people who choose to live here and are crazy talented. Those are the
Yeah,
people that we want to work with, you
yeah.
know. And Sarah is she plays Martha, and with absolute style and aplomb. I mean, she's so bloody talented. I'm almost jealous.
I just saw her at an event last night, and when she was
Mm,
lamenting that she can't come and see my show because the
oh,
Secret Garden schedule does not
yeah,
compute, which is
right.
the life we artists live. Like sometimes you miss out because you're doing your own work, and that's just the reality of the artist life.
That's
Um,
my biggest regret, actually. If I can take a second to say that, is that and as well as I do, when you produce and you direct and you do all these things, you pretty much are leaving every ounce of blood, sweat, and tears,
yeah,
in the rehearsal hall, on
yeah,
the stage. And I simply can't get. I've tried to go and see Bombshell. I've tried to go and see Outskirts. I've tried, to go and visit everybody in town, but it's like the schedules are almost impossible. Sister Act
yeah,
opened the night before we opened. So it's like
yeah,
it's so hard to be able to find the time to go.
yeah.
But and so that's my
Well,
biggest regret, is I don't get to go and see stuff.
we have to think about the opportunities that particularly as producers, the opportunities that we're providing, and that's just sort of the sacrifice that we have to
Right.
live with, because I know from my own experiences, you do have people living in Wisconsin who don't really want to travel that far to see great art. And
Yeah.
so you are really fulfilling a need out in Franklin to
Hmm.
provide a really great theatrical experience where people don't have to travel miles and miles and miles and miles. And that is of value. That
Yeah.
you are providing a valuable service to the community.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you for saying that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's all part of it, right?
Yeah. That's what it is. And so we keep moving forward so that we can provide that artistic catharsis that makes the world a better place, in
Right.
my own humble opinion.
Yeah.
But why do you think people should come and see the show? What do you think people are going to get out of it?
Sure. Well, it there it's perhaps one of the best written musicals, of
Nice.
recent time. I mean, it premiered on Broadway in the very early 90s. I want to say 91, 92, somewhere in there. I mean, it's over 100-year-old novel, but the show is very, very different from the novel. So we actually did a number of book club events to sing and promote the show at a couple
Yeah.
of libraries around the area, Muskego, um, and it was fascinating because a lot of the people who had read the book had never heard the musical before.
Musical.
And so the music, when it's like watching a movie for the first time, and you hear the soundtrack, and it accentuates different moments that maybe didn't have as much weight when it came off the page in your head, but then when you're watching it live, and watching someone, so anybody that has read the novel should see this show. My goodness. um, I think the main reason is to be able to have a communal experience again.
Oh,
you know that
it sounds
symbiotic relationship
yeah.
between audience and actor
Yeah.
is, even if it's somebody that hasn't been to the theater very much, they start to feel that. And I,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I love to tell younger actors that, when they're training, that an audience won't they can't articulate to you what was wrong or what was right with whatever you just did, but they'll know, and they'll feel it. And
Mm-mm.
when you're doing it right, you'll feel it back from them.
Mhm.
And
Mhm, mhm.
so I think that that in and of itself is enough for me to want to go and see something live. But you know, doing a show that incorporates children and gives an opportunity for families or extended generations. I see a lot of grandparents bringing their grandchildren to see the shows at
Yeah.
Forte, which I absolutely love because
Awesome.
my heritage or my upbringing in the theater was always going to see outdoor summer theater for my great grandmother's birthday every year.
That's
That was what she
awesome.
wanted. She wanted everybody to come, so we would see Oklahoma, or we would see The King and I, all the classics. And so that, and then we would sing my mom would put the record on and we would all sing it at the house. And that's why I think I love the classics so much. But
Probably.
I
I
but
think you've
this
identified it. I think you've identified the root cause of your mental
yeah.
of your mental connection to the
Well,
musical theater.
the only other thing I'll say to tell people why they should come and see this is because of Lydia Ike Ross and Stephen Pfisterer, um, made me weep in the audition room. Their voices together, or individually, they're very powerful singers,
Yeah.
but together, those two individuals, Lydia plays Lily, and Stephen plays Archie, and they have a duet toward the end of the show that, if that doesn't reach you, and if you have ever suffered with loss, and um, and trying to reconcile your thoughts around how to move on beyond that loss, that there are so many moments in this show, specifically that one, that will be so redemptive that it's I'm starting to get a little emotional right now actually, but it is such a great show. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so if those people don't make you want to come out and see it, then come see Allison. She's amazing. She's 12 and she's a pro. I told her that, and I probably put too much pressure on her, but I performed Dr. Neville Craven 20 years ago in this show. And the young lady who played Mary in that production with me, her name is Allie Trim. And Allie Trim is now playing Glinda on Broadway in Wicked.
Wow.
And she starred in 13. She did Bye Bye Birdie. She's got, you know, she did all of these shows, and now she's actually playing Glinda. I mean, so you can't do Secret Garden without that little girl. You
Yeah, yeah,
simply can't do it.
yeah.
You've got to have the heart of the show be able to live in that child. And Allison delivers on so many levels. It's amazing.
Awesome. So if people want to rush to go get tickets, they can go to Forte Forte Theatre. It's a TRE
Yep.
company.org. You can go and get your tickets there. Yes. Am
We
I
got a
correct?
flash sale right now too. There's a flash sale for this weekend. If you go online, go on Facebook, there's a coupon code out there right now.
Go and get your coupon. Go and get your seats. Go and see the show.
Yeah.
Go, 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 go. Randall Dodge, thank you so much for all of your insight, and thank you for stopping by. You've got a thing today, and have a great, great, great closing weekend.
Thank you, Jaimelyn. Thank you for
Uh,
everything you're doing. Thank you.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Let's go, Milwaukee Theater Scene. You guys
Go
are amazing.
Milwaukee. Yeah.
Everybody. You're all
There you have it. There is the man himself, Randall Dodge, artistic director, actor, director, producer, paints sets, and all of the things. You know, that's what I was saying in the interview too. Is that, like, if you are a small company person, you absolutely have your hands in all of the other areas of theatrical production. One of the easiest to access and one of the most needed is painting, is set painting and furniture painting. because there's always a lot of it to have to do. So there you go. That's what we have for this week. As I said, I hope to get, we've got Sister Act going on right now. We've also got Top Dog Underdog over at Milwaukee Chamber Theater coming up here shortly. And so I hope to get somebody on about that. And hopefully a couple of other, independent projects floating around the area. Milwaukee's a buzzin'. It's that time of year. Lots of things going on. So check our website. We've got the calendar up there, and we've got links and things that you can find what you need to find. But hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Hopefully I will see or you will hear me next week if you're listening on a podcast. And there's what we've got. So thank you so much. And we'll see you next week on You've Got a Thing.